Well, as we've been hearing, Iran has been targeting its neighbours' energy infrastructure, including Qatar's key gas facility, Ras Laffan complex. Let's speak to Jan Rozenau, who's Professor of Energy and Climate Policy and is the leader of the energy programme at the Environmental Change Institute at the University of Oxford. Professor Rozenau, thank you very much for joining us here on BBC News, and we appreciate your patience in waiting till we got to you. Talk to us, if you would, about following the comments from the UK Defence Secretary John Healey. He said that these Iranian strikes on energy sites are a serious escalation. How might that affect people here in the UK?
Yeah, it's very serious. And when I talked to journalists just last week, my answer was that it depends on how long the conflict will last as to how big the impact will be on consumers, on businesses in the UK. And clearly this escalation that we've seen just today and the comments being made by various politicians suggest that it's going to take a little bit longer than many expected, and maybe several weeks or at least several more days, and that will filter through in higher prices. Just this morning, we've seen record prices not seen since December 2022 for gas, and oil prices have now exceeded $100 per barrel, at some point $120. So really serious, and all of that will feed through higher prices for people in the UK.
What's the structural solution then?
I think we often talk about this crisis as a supply crisis, but I think it's fundamentally a demand issue. We are so dependent on fossil fuels. 80% of all the energy that we use is fossil fuels, and that is mainly imported oil and gas in a lot of countries. Half of the UK's oil and gas is imported, and that is increasing year by year. And shocks like this just ripple through the UK economy because of that, because it's so exposed to international markets. And the structural solution really is to move away from fossil fuels. Technologies like heat pumps, electric vehicles, they avoid the use of fossil fuels in the first place, and that is the best insurance against future crises of this kind.
Of course, that's going to take some time. Let's see whether efforts are made to do as you describe. Professor Jan Rozenau from Oxford University, thank you very much for talking to us.
Thanks, Matt.